How are you unintentionally causing your ex to pull away? That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. But first, my name is Clay with modernlove.life, where we help you get the great loving relationship that you're looking for without having to play mind games, without having to play hard to get, and without having to pretend to be someone or something that you are not, because you, of course, deserve to be loved for the unique, amazing, and wonderful person that you are. And if you agree with me, please do me a favor by hitting that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm, subscribing to the channel, all that good stuff, leave a comment below, all that stuff. And I also wanted to let you know that we are, in all likelihood, going to be moving forward with this Facebook group workshop that I've been talking about for the past few days. I try to record these videos at least a few days ahead of time, but at least as of right now, it looks like we are probably going to hit the 250 people requesting to join the group threshold that I set. And if we haven't already, and even if we fall a little bit short, I think we're gonna still have a good group of people to go with. So we're gonna go ahead and do it. And so if you do want to join us on this Facebook workshop, it's the link for it is right down below. Again, if you're watching this in February of 2021, please feel free to join us. If it's for some reason not February 2021, if it's March or some other time of year or something like that, you've probably missed out on the Facebook workshop. So click on some other link down below if you want to engage with us in some way. We're probably going to go ahead and do that, so feel free to join us down below as long as it's February 2021. But let's go ahead and get into this. So, there are a lot of things that people can do that unintentionally cause their ex to pull back or pull away from them, okay? A lot of these things, come from well-meaning intentions, but they have the opposite effect, and they, cause your ex to pull back, create more distance, to want to create more separation between the two of you. So I wanted to talk about some common things that people do that cause this sort of response in their ex. Now, the first thing is obviously if someone is in damage control mode, they can cause their ex to pull back, to say, hey, I need space, to stop responding, to go into that kind of wall of reactance frame of mind. And, damage control mode, I think, most of us have been there when we've gone through at least the initial stages of a breakup. We've done the things where we've called or texted, way too often. We've done the things where we've begged and pleaded. We've done the things where we've, bent over backwards, got gifts, promised up and down that things would be different, right? And, I think most of us know that this doesn't work. If it did work, then, we probably wouldn't be here. We'd just be back together. But why doesn't it work? Why does the begging, the pleading, the promising, and all of that not work? The main reason that it doesn't work is that it's a little bit too little too late. And it's like, okay, I was probably sending out some sort of warning signs, some sort of cries for help for a while. And now that I've actually said, okay, this is a big deal, I'm going to break up with you, it's like, now you listen. And so it seems like there's a certain sense of frustration in that, you haven't listened to me. I'm hypothetically being your ex here, that you haven't listened to me up until now, but only now after I've broken up that now it's worth your time to listen. And this is also difficult too, because your ex has already made that decision. There's like a certain period of time where things are kind of getting worse and they're thinking, okay, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe we can deal with it. Okay, maybe it is kind of bad. Maybe I should start, planning on ending this relationship. Okay, I'm going to actually do it. Okay, we're actually going to end the relationship. We're having the breakup talk. And so there's that certain sort of decision that has to be made. And as they reach the point of actually making that decision, they're going to experience something called the law of consistency, which says, okay, we're going to act consistently with the decisions we've made previously, such as breaking up with you. And so it's going to be much more difficult to change your ex's mind after they have made the decision. Yes, it can be done, but you have to go about doing it in a delicate sort of way. You can't just sort of say, yeah, I'm going to beg and plead. I'm going to, overwhelm you with attention and stuff like that to try to make it up for you, right? Obviously, damage control mode doesn't work. I don't think we need to go into this too much more in detail. But the second thing that people do that unintentionally causes their ex to pull away is making their ex responsible for their own emotions. Now, there's obviously like very heavy ways that people do this, where they say something like, hey, I could never live without you. You're my all and everything, kind of more than on the damage control mode side. But then there's also subtle ways that people do this, where they are sort of subtly sending the message that, like, hey, I'm just going to be holding my breath, waiting for your decision, waiting for you to, do something. And, without you, I'm going to be miserable. Whatever it might be, right? But basically you're saying, hey, you are responsible for my emotions. You are responsible for my well-being. And this is a really difficult spot to be in because, first of all, it's not taking responsibility for your own emotional state, which is not a great place for a lot of people to be in. Most people don't want to take responsibility for other people's emotions. They might have the impulse to do so due to previous things that have happened to them in their lives. Like that. That's happened to me before in my life. Because in the past I felt attracted to women who would not take responsibility for their own emotions, so that I could, kind of step in and save them and fix things and all of that. Didn't work out so well. But people don't generally want someone who's going to make someone responsible for their emotions. They want someone who's willing to take responsibility for their own emotions. They want to be with someone who can own their own feelings, right? Now, of course, that's not to say like you're not going to have an emotional experience. You're going through a breakup. Of course, it's an intense emotional experience. And of course, you're probably going to be feeling things, right? But you can own those emotions, or you can make your ex responsible for them. You can say like, wow, I'm really disappointed that we've come to this place right now. It makes me sad, and I feel really disappointed, really depressed about it. But that's where we're at. That's kind of like taking responsibility for your emotions. But by saying something like, you're making me so sad. You're like, because you won't give us another shot, you're causing me to feel this way. You're causing me to feel lost and hopeless. I mean, like that's obviously making someone else responsible for your emotions. And so what we want to make sure we're doing as we're phrasing things, as we're talking about things, is that we're making our emotions something that we are owning, that we are experiencing, but they're not, they can be related to things outside of us, but they're not, someone else isn't responsible for those emotions, okay? The third thing that people do that causes their ex to pull away is that they're too relationship focused. And, what exactly is relationship focus? We've talked about this before in other videos, but I don't think we've done so in at least a little while. Relationship focus is when your intention behind every interaction or everything that you do or say or whatever is on trying to get the two of you into a relationship again. That's to say, you have this ulterior motive, this hidden or not so hidden agenda of getting back together, okay? And that is going to cause your ex to pull away. The opposite of a relationship-focused stance is a connection-focused stance, where you're not trying to force the outcome. You're just simply trying to enjoy interacting with someone that you care about. You're just simply trying to connect with someone. You're just simply trying to have a great interaction. And if it leads somewhere like a relationship, okay, great. But if it doesn't, then, that's fine too. You're just there to show up and to be there with someone. It's kind of like the, at least ideal, stance that you should have, ideally, when you're going out on a first date. You don't want to go out on a first date and say, okay, are we boyfriend and girlfriend yet? Are we going to get married? What is the name of our, first child going to be? You're probably just like, hey, how are you? What are you into these days? Oh, okay, well, this is what I'm into. That's really cool. Let's spend some more time together, right? And, when it goes to the point of being in a relationship and becoming boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever, then it just kind of organically happens. And that's the right kind of mindset to have when you're interacting, because, when you have this relationship focused stance and you have this agenda of making everything move towards this outcome of being in a relationship, how it can come across to your ex is that you don't care about their emotional state. You don't care about what they're going through. You don't care about what their experience is. You're using them as a stepping stone, as a means to an end to feel good about yourself. And, you think, okay, if I'm in a relationship with you, then I'll feel good about myself. So I'm going to use you to feel good about myself by being in a relationship. And notice in that equation, there's no concern or respect or consideration for where the other person's emotional state is, what they want, what their concerns are, what their hang-ups are, etc. And so we want to be careful about that. We want to make sure that we're coming across as more connection focused rather than relationship focused. By the way, if you do want to learn more about being more connection focused, we do have our playlist on what we call advanced relational skills that kind of go into this in some more detail. So if you haven't already, please check out our video playlist right up there on advanced relational skills. The next thing that you want to be mindful of is when you're listening to your ex, when you're interacting with them. One thing that people who unintentionally cause their ex to pull away do is that they are listening to respond or to see if how their ex responds fits into their preferences or their agenda. Basically they're saying like, okay, you just mentioned that thing about how you were spending last weekend with someone of the opposite sex. Like, are they attractive? Are you guys dating? Like, what's going on? Or you might take this another way and you might say like, I read this thing on the internet about body language. How's your body language? Oh, okay, you got open posture. That means you're attracted to me, but your legs are crossed. That means you're feeling hesitant. And you just took a drink. You just took a sip of your drink through a straw while making eye contact with me. That means that definitely means something. If you're listening and taking in things too much this way, it's going to, again, come across like you're attached to this agenda of getting back together. You're attached to this outcome and you're not being considerate of where the other person is coming from or where the other person is, what they're experiencing. And so what we want to do is we want to instead get to the place where we're trying to listen just simply for the intention of understanding them. We're listening simply for the intention of taking in, of drinking in who they are, what their experience is, what they want, and just simply understanding who they are without trying to, fit it into some sort of narrative that we have or some sort of preference that we have or anything like that. And when you're able to do this, you're able to actually feel an emotional connection with them. You're actually able to create this emotional bond with them that actually allows the two of you to connect a whole lot better. By the way, this is one of the foundations of our course called Effortless Connection, which you can, check out down below if you want to learn more about all this. But, you want to be really careful about this, because if you're listening to see if whatever they're saying or doing kind of fits into a certain narrative, or to see if, like they said this, does that mean there's hope? They said that, does that mean that there's no hope? Then you're just going to come across as not interested in where they're at emotionally, and that's going to cause them to pull away, because they're going to think that, okay, you have this ulterior motive, you have this hidden agenda, you want something, and you're not very interested in me, and so you're just trying to get something out of me, and that's going to cause them to want to pull back, okay? So we want to be really careful about this. But all of this really does have a lot to do with your way of being. That's to say, how you're bringing yourself to the interactions, how you're bringing yourself to interacting with your ex, to talking with your ex, to being with your ex, to spending time with your ex, etc. This is a lot deeper stuff than just, like, hey, text this, hey, say this, right? Because, if you have an ulterior motive, or if you have a hidden agenda, or if you are in damage control mode, or, one of these other things, you could potentially say the right thing or do the right thing, but as long as your energy is coming across as, I'm in damage control mode or something like that, or I'm looking for you to be responsible for my emotions, that's going to come across in some capacity or other. So we want to be able to focus on the deeper level stuff, the way of being stuff, and then, honestly, a lot of the external stuff, what to say and do, just sort of snaps into place on its own. However, it does make sense to educate you on some things to say and do and all of that, and there's a place for that. But, it's more important to work on that deeper level stuff first. So once again, if you do want to join us in a conversation in a Facebook workshop about some of this deeper level stuff, we do have that Facebook workshop that is likely going to be happening. Once again, feel free to check it out down in the description box below. It looks like we're going to hit a good number of people, and it looks like we'll probably have enough people to move forward with this. So if you do want to participate in this, and it is, February 2021, feel free to click that link and join us. If it's, summertime and some other year, then you've probably missed this workshop. I don't know how well this video will take off. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, I don't know. But if you're watching this at some other point in time, you have unfortunately missed this workshop, and you may want to check out some of the other stuff in the description box down below. But anyway, if you like this video, if it's been helpful for you, please make sure that you hit that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm. Please make sure that you leave a comment down below about what has been most insightful for you from this video, and please make sure that you also subscribe to this channel as well too, so that you can get notified when we publish and upload new videos. Once again, thank you so much. Once again, my name is Clay, and if you do want to learn more about those advanced relational skills, we do have this video playlist over here, or you might want to check out this video right here. But thank you so much. Please take care, and I will talk to you next time.